And it states ideally what MSD would be wanting to see achieved for families. So this is the dream. And it talks about that a really healthy family that's meeting the dream will have knowledge of their whakapapa and their history, the taonga, and are confident in their identity. I mean, you can read that through. They can speak their language, their spiritual aspects are central to their lives, they value and respect all who belong to them, they are aware of and active within their own community, they realise their roles and functions, they've got a place in society, they've got access to resources, they're able to meet their needs and the community and their families' needs. They are adaptable, they are entrepreneurial, they are well educated, they are visionary, they have a sense of future, they're able to own their own homes if they want to, their family members are able to make decisions about their own lives, they're able to participate in all aspects of life, and people are comfortable in their own skins. So there's belonging, there's that whānau, that's that whakapapa, they know who they are, where they are, they have their language to support them, they have spiritual wholeness, they love and cherish their own. They have roles to play, things to do, there's a purpose in their life, they're hopeful and able to live in the world around them and to participate. So that's the picture. The families that we work with that come to us, they're called hard to reach. So if you can just take the moi moia and flip it on its side, the opposite is true for our families. They have little or no knowledge of their whakapapa and their history, and little confidence in their identity. They have difficulty living today and remembering the history. So you can go right through that and you can see that at the end of the day, our people are alienated and isolated. They feel they have low value, they feel that their cup is empty and sometimes cracked. And I'm going to miss that slide because I haven't got time. But in a nutshell, they have no resources, their belonging is distorted, they don't feel like they belong, they're suspicious, they're avoiding, they're defensive because they feel threatened, there's always someone at the door wanting something, they have a hard time at wins, they lack confidence, there isn't any spiritual wholeness, they can be described as quite blank. They don't love and cherish their own necessarily because they haven't necessarily felt loved and cherished. I worked in the community 30 years ago. I can remember finding kids home alone 30 years ago, and violence in the community was happening 30 years ago. Those are our parents and coming into our grandparents now. And so that's a generational issue that occurs. So it's not a good picture. And I've put a rattle in there because for us, the families that we see that are feeling hopeless and have no hope and no future and feel purposeless and feel spiritually dead, have got a baby in the house. Here's little Arama. What's the future for these kids? So when we work with them, we've got to make a difference because there's a baby in each house that we go to. And if we don't make a difference and we just play act at it, those kids are going to be coming around here in 15 years' time, in 11 years' time they'll be in the local gang, they'll be in the Bloods or the Crips or whatever it might be. And we have to make it work. So I'm going to go on to something a little bit more positive. What have we learnt that works? One of the key aspects for us is the worker. The worker becomes the intervention, the person that goes into the home with the family. So what do? Matching ethnicity is really important. I mean, most of the time we can do it. If we can't, people have absolutely got to take some advice before they go to that family from someone from that ethnicity. We have kaumātua and Pacific Mātua on staff as well, and if we can't take a social worker in, we will take a kaumātua in with us. So matching the ethnicity is important. Person with the right knowledge and skills. People that understand human behaviour, they can pick up cues, they can build relationships, they are accepting. People that we see do not feel accepted, they're always feeling on the fringe and marginalised. The special skill about setting up relationships and rapport with this group. They need to be streetwise because they'll put one over you sometimes. and you have to be streetwise, but you've got to show that you're in there with them, and that even though they're going to make it tough, we're going to do twice as hard because they're important. Those families are important, and I say to my staff, if there's a baby in that house, you can't give up, because it's the baby that will pay, not the family. So the right depth of emotional intelligence and maturity, people who will keep on keeping on, this is our workers, people with the right attitude, passion, perseverance and commitment that go back, and when they're being shouted at from the front door, they still go back. There needs to be, in order for this person to function, they've got to have a supportive workplace. We have karakia every morning, and we get together every morning. We make sure we're all in the same room every morning. We sing waiata, we sing Pacifica hymns, we sing whatever it takes, but it's about joining us together and being strong. Because for these people to go out and nurture people that are so disaffected, you have just got to pour nurturing into them and feed them spiritually and emotionally and psychologically in all those ways. Because they're not going to be paid enough, that's for sure. So professional development's really huge. I'm nearly at the end now. So how do they work? They need to foster inclusion, language, get them back to their roots, bring someone who knows their history, develop that therapeutic partnership. It's not about us being the expert going in and being clever. It's got to be that we work in this together. They've got to be part of the setting of the goals as well. We need a strength-based approach. They need to know that we can see something in that person that's worth working with. They must know that, even though they may not feel that themselves. We have to create hope and opportunities. We need to plan steps, we need to be practical, we need to be real, and we need to be there. And we need to be holistic. I've put whare tapu whare. If you look at the moi moia, you'll see whare tapu whare in there, you'll see whānau models in there as well. So some extra bits we've done, as well as our work with the home visiting and working with each family, we've also brought some other things together, all about fostering that belonging, that acceptance, that getting some achievement, putting in some driver's licence work. That's been amazing. Paid for the whole kit and caboodle for people to have their learners' licences, their driving lessons, to get their licences, and you'd be amazed at the difference that makes. I've put here, I'm legal. They come out and they say, I'm legal. I'm thinking, oh, so what? You wouldn't care, but they do care. They're legal, and they've got their licence, and I've heard them say, this is the first thing I've ever achieved in my life. And they suddenly belong to the world of licensed drivers. They belong somewhere. They did something that other people could do. Fathers groups, we've got those going there, great. We've just pulled out of our fathers group 2 guys who are now lone dads at home who are now coordinating the fathers groups. We expect women to take on all the changes at home. We expect them to change their men. I mean, when are we going to grow up? The men need to be solving their issues with our men. So our male workers work with our fathers, and that's been a great thing. Nutrition changes. We've seen people changing their diet and changing how they cook for their family, because our workers will go and actually show them how to cook stuff. Our workers are trained social workers, early childhood teachers. They're professional people, but they can teach them how to bake scones as well, so that's cool. And at the moment we're trialling kaumātua. So in conclusion, this is my last slide, hard to reach are so for a reason. There's no simple solution, they're not going to come right like that. You need to work with the hard to reach heart and mind to get change. If you're just trying to go for here, you won't get the change. You've got to go, you've got to change their heart at the same time. Change is about changing heart and mind. The intervention is the worker with the right framework. Belief in that person, with the right tools, absolute respect. It takes time, consistency and commitment. Achievement and acceptance gives leverage. When they make some small achievements and when they feel accepted by those working with them and you can bring them into other things, they feel that they can do more and it just grows. And professional development for our workers is where it's at, because they are the intervention. We've got to pour what we can into them because they are the one in the house, not me, not my passion, not my overheads, not my computers. It's that person going into that house to make the difference. And they need untold support. And there we are. That's it. So I'll hand it over to you. Thank you.